Chapter 2. When I stepped out of the school, the evening sky was putting on a theatrical display of soft oranges and pinks, casting a gentle, warm glow over the quiet streets. The air was crisp, carrying the faint, confusing scent of blooming spring flowers, trying to survive the damp, muddy feel of the earlier rain. My worn-out sneakers squeaked on the half-destroyed asphalt, kicking up dirty water from small puddles. The trees lining the road rustled in a gentle breeze, whispering casual secrets to the evening, like they actually had something important to say. Long, thin shadows stretched out in front of me, blending into the golden haze. I tugged my jacket closer, shivering as the cool air bit at my fingers, and stuffed my hands deep into my pockets. The metro station wasn't far, just a few blocks through my painfully sleepy neighborhood, where ancient brick buildings stood like silent sentinels. Their dark windows reflected the flaming sky. A stray cat darted across my path, pausing just long enough to fix me with a pair of glowing eyes before vanishing into a garbage-filled alley. It was a pretty animal, but it didn't look innocent in the slightest. It looked like it belonged into the shadows. I smirked bitterly. There really is no clean place left in this world. My thoughts drifted back to math class, Miss Petrova's annoying Olympiad speech, and my usual miserable role as the school's reluctant hero. Another day, another exhaustion expectation. I sighed to myself. The street lamps flickered on. Their soft, electrical buzz joined the chorus of the evening. As the blinking neon sign of the metro station came into view, acting like a beacon pulling me towards the familiar underground rumble of trains, I stepped inside. I breathed in the heavy, oppressive air, a wonderful cocktail of damp concrete and the miserable buzz of evening commuters. My fingers obsessively fidgeted with a bizarre spiral coin in my pocket. Its worn but inexplicably sharp edges dug into my skin. Weird enough, huh? I thought. I scanned the crowded platform and my eyes immediately stopped on a man standing completely alone. He was wearing polished shoes, incredibly baggy pants, and a classic blazer, all pitch black, matching the rotten souls of half my classmates. The ridiculous look was topped off with oversized glasses in a thick gold frame. What an absolute weirdo, I scoffed internally. It was the first time I had ever seen someone dressed like a cartoon villain in my neighborhood. I assumed he had probably robbed a thrift store the night before. As my train finally neared the stop, a sting of disappointment hit me. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded following the guy. He was the only thing around here that sparked even a shred of suspicion or interest in my dead-end day. Oddly enough, as I watched him board the carriage, people glanced his way but seemed to look right through him, as if no one else in the entire train actually registered his strange existence. My stomach did a weird flip. Maybe Artem's insane stories about the city weren't just paranoid garbage after all. By some wild, impossible coincidence, the thrift store villain got off at my exact stop and headed straight towards my neighborhood. Quietly thrilled that my Friday wasn't going to end with microwave dinners and awkward silence, I trailed him from a distance. When we walked right past the ugly building where I lived, I made the split-second decision to keep following him, desperately hoping to catch him doing something unusual. If he just went into a grocery store, I could always turn around and go home to my ghosts. I stayed far enough back to blend into the evening crowd. The man moved with an eerie silence. His polished shoes made absolutely zero sound against the rough pavement. Right near the local pharmacy, he took a sharp turn into a dim, trash-filled alley. I hesitated. My hand nervously clutched the cold coin in my pocket. Just a quick look, I lied to myself, creeping closer and pressing my back against a rusty dumpster. Then, the weirdness hit like a freight train. The man stopped dead, facing a solid brick wall. For a split second he froze, and then he started waving his hands in sharp, calculated gestures. A low, vibrating hum began filling up the air, making my teeth ache. My skin violently prickled as a perfect golden ring sparked to life right in front of him, looking like it had been freshly forged from pure, burning gold. Its surface rippled like water, shrinking slightly to form a stable glowing circle. My jaw dropped. Beyond the glowing ring, right through the solid brick, I saw a wooden bookshelf and a heavy desk piled with papers that looked like ancient century-old scrolls, all illuminated by an eerie, otherworldly glow. Without a second of hesitation, the stranger stepped right through the portal and vanished. The spiral coin in my pocket suddenly felt incredibly warm against my palm, almost as if it was alive. I thought of my mom's old necklace, the way she used to smile when she wore it before the house died. I thought of my dad's blank, empty stare, the suffocating silence at home, the Artem's absence, and the absolute lack of anything in my life worth growing or living for. My life was a miserable, repetitive loop of nothing, and this glowing tear in the fabric of the universe, this was something. The golden circle was already beginning to shrink fast. I hesitated for a fraction of a second. Should I follow this bizarre guy or head home and pretend everything in the world was completely normal? Sure, jumping into a magical hole could result in anything, and I still wasn't totally convinced my brain wasn't just having a breakdown, but I absolutely had to know who this weirdo was and how he just opened a door in a brick wall. Before the portal could close on me forever, I made up my mind. I took a deep breath, embraced the absolute insanity of it all, and stepped through the golden light right after him.